Greetings and blessings, everyone. This is Reverend James Thomas Devon, Order of the Blue Star. This is the first video for 2016. And in a little bit, I'm going to be talking about 2016 and what it means to people and what sort of things could be happening in your life and things like that. But I'm going to do a topic on the Ascension. This is an important topic for a lot of different reasons. And I'm sure that there are going to be some people who are going to disagree with some of the things that I say. And that's okay. At the end of the day, as with any information, you discern through your heart. Okay. Now the Ascension. It's actually just talked about a little bit in the Bible as well as in the Quran. Judaism, Islam, Christianity, they all believe in Ascension, but they talk about it in a different context, different way, if you will. Individuals such as Elijah, Enoch, Muhammad are all said to have ascended. Yeshua. Enoch, it said that he went up and was gone for 300 years, and then he came back and realized that everyone that he had known was no longer there. And he wrote about his experiences, which we now have as the Book of Enoch. I'm not sure exactly how much of the book is authentically his or what has been changed or what not, but I think for the most part it's fairly accurate. For myself, I never really got much into it. It was I don't know about these days. But when I tried to read it back in the late 80s, it was just too much. I couldn't deal with it, to be honest with you. But since the 1980s, the Ascension has been a hot topic in New Age metaphysical circles. One of the first books that I read was published in 1982. The person who published it was the channeler. Her name is Tuella, Tuella. You could probably possibly still get the book. I'm not sure if you could or not. But it was all about the Ashtar Command and them taking people into the fifth dimension, off of this world, Project World Evacuation, hence. In the book, there's a lot of descriptions as far as what the ships look like and all these different things, and it's a very fascinating read. And there are still many Ashtar groups out there who are, proclaiming that the Ascension is coming and everything. You've got others out there who have been saying for over a decade and channeling information saying that there's going to be first contact and the extraterrestrials are going to come and let everybody know that they're there and they're going to take over and make everything right and so on and so forth. And then, to be honest with you, I hadn't really given the Ascension much thought for a while now until Carolyn asked her question about apparently she had seen somewhere or something that someone was saying that we are now in the fifth dimension. And I got to thinking about this, and I'm like, well, let's look at this for a moment. Third dimensionally speaking, Albert Einstein mathematically proved the existence of at least 26 different dimensions. So in a scientific way, it's been mathematically proved that there are multiple dimensions. I am a firm believer that there are multiple dimensions. There are two different fourth dimensions, if you will. There's the fourth dimension, and there's the fourth dimension that's around this planet. The fourth dimension that's around this planet is known as the near realms. That's where individuals go once they have crossed over from their life, where they go over and review their life and decide, oh, well, I did this and I didn't do that, and then they get together with their guides and whatnot, and they start planning for their next life and choosing who their parents are going to be and where they're going to be born and who they're going to marry and so on and so on. Beyond this planet, there isn't a fourth dimension that is different to that. It's like a half step higher in octave than what we are. And then the fifth dimension is like a full octave higher, let's say. The difference between the third and the fifth dimension is that in the fifth dimension, they vibrate at a much faster rate of speed, their energy, their frequency. And because of that, they can see us. We can't see them, generally. For those who are more quantum in their thinking and their energy, they are able to perceive these beings that are in the fifth dimension. And then you have ships galore around this planet that are in the fifth dimension. And if they were all visible to us, we'd be like, whoa! Because there'd be so many of them up there, and we'd be like, holy crap, that just proves that we're not alone, and so on and so forth. So if we were actually in the fifth dimension, we would see all these beings that are around us, like the gentleman that's over this shoulder right here. His name is McCoon. He's from the Blue Star. He's chuckling at the moment. Instead of me knowing that he's there, you would all see him standing there, and I would, because I'm looking into the screen, and I can see the window behind me and the fairy lights that are on behind me. I would see him as well, and I feel him, and I know he's there, and I can sense him, and yeah, it's a long story, but. So I know he's there, but if we were all in the fifth dimension, you'd see him as well. Some of you may even perceive him, and some of you may even be able to glimpse him. Who knows? Depends upon how quantum you can be. I think what really bothered me the most about this whole thing about the Ascension, because I've read about it and I've listened to other people talk about it for over 20 years now in the New Age metaphysical spiritual circles, and I've heard people going, well, when we go into the fifth dimension, everything's going to be great. There won't be any duality. There won't be any issues. We'll fully know everything, and everything's going to be great. And the way they were describing it, I was like, I've heard this before. I'm amazed. I have heard this before. I heard it in Christianity. I heard it when Christians talk about heaven. Everything's beautiful, everything's spectacular, there's no dramas, there's no problems, and everyone's just lovey-dovey, and everything's great and wonderful. And they were basically describing going into the fifth dimension the same way that Christians would describe going to heaven. And then, of course, you have those out there going, well, we're going to be taken up, we're going to ascend, and they're all going to come for us and take us up on the ships, and it's going to be great. And we've had those, like the group in California who felt that they were going to be taken up onto ships because of a passing comment, so they all committed suicide. And I sit there and I listen to these things and I shake my head and I'm like, why are you doing this exactly? How many of you want to know what the Ascension is? I'm going to give you my perspective, my viewpoint on it. Number one, the fifth dimension, there's still duality. There are beings of light, beings of darkness. There are beings who do not serve light or dark, just like you have here. Although there's the numbers are a little bit more different, because there's a lot more people in the fifth dimension than there are on this planet. And they come from a lot of different other places in this galaxy and in this universe and in other galaxies. And then you've got people in the sixth and seventh dimension and the eighth dimension. And so it's you have all sorts of different things going on here. I grew up in Oklahoma City. It was an interesting place to grow up. Lots of guns. I remember in grade 11 we had the Ku Klux Klan come to my high school recruiting. They didn't stay long, but the food, fantastic. You know, biscuits and gravy and fried catfish and hush puppies and, no, I'm not talking about shoes, cornbread and grits and black-eyed peas and just wonderful food, you know, and gumbo, jambalaya, red beans and rice, bass, you know, just wonderful food, you know. But it was also the middle of the Bible Belt. So everything had a Christian tinge to it. And until I was probably 14, 15 years old, I went to a Methodist church. Kind of an interesting, you know, it was really wonderful, wonderful people and everything. And basically you believe in God and you go to church and you do the right things and you go to heaven. Have a nice day. And we had gone on a mission trip down to Louisiana, down in the bayous, Louisiana. And then after that, all the youth group wanted to do was go on ski trips and stuff. And my sister Terry and I, we didn't really want to do that. So we went looking, and there was another church where a lot of people from my high school was going to. South Lindsay Baptist Church was Southern Baptist, Bible thumpers, full on, you must be saved, you know, the whole 9 yards. And was a very active member there for 3.5 years or so. One of their favorite phrases is, you must be born again. But I've been thinking about that. Things don't happen generally by mistake. There are clues left out for us in a myriad different ways, different places, places we would never even think to look. What is the Ascension? The Ascension basically is to be born again. Not as a Christian, not proclaiming that, you know, Jesus is going to be your personal Savior and Lord. I mean, if that's your belief, then that's cool. That's, you know, no problem. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is making a choice and focusing, being conscious of focusing on changing how you are, how you present yourself, being more in tune with who you truly are. Living from that space, from that place of being, of knowing that you're sacred. Knowing that God is within you. When you look at people, do you go, oh, you know, they're black or they're white or they're male or female, or oh, they're from Iran or America or New Zealand or whatever. Or do you look at somebody and say, oh wow, they've got God within them? It's about looking at things differently from a higher perspective. Knowing from that place within the heart that is so deep, so complete, so fantastic. That's what it's about. That's what the Ascension is about now. So let me give you a little history, shall we say. Think of it this way, okay? We have a planet that is filled with what I term native humans. These are individuals who have never resided anywhere but here on this planet. Now, their task, shall we say, is to evolve. Now, on the other side, let's think for a moment the volunteers. Now, the volunteers are individuals who have come from elsewhere. The majority of volunteers would come from the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensions. From the Pleiades, from the great central sun, from Orion, from Alpha Centauri, from Sirius, from Lyra, from all these different places in the universe. Guess what? You already ascended at some point in the past. You're not here necessarily to ascend, shall we say, because when the time comes, and it will come for everybody, way far into the future, whatever, you will return home. And that's not in the third dimension, that's in the fifth dimension. It's about assisting the native human population in this planet in its evolution. And perhaps in 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 years, perhaps in 10,000 or 100,000 years, the people of this world will, through their evolution, move into higher dimensions. It's part of the program. It's part of the plan on this planet. As volunteers, we're here to assist them in doing that. We are the living examples. But why would you be so concerned about ascending when you've already ascended? Because you see, at one point, in one time, long time ago, you were on a planet. And on that planet, you were the native human. And you evolved. And there were those who were there as volunteers to assist you. And now that you've ascended, grown, learned, done everything, now you're here on this planet. Perhaps you were in the Pleiades and assisted them, or Alpha, or Sirius and assisted them. It's a process that we assist each other. Imagine it this way. Turn on your TV, look at every channel that you have. Look at every single program that is you have there. Go to a music shop. Count how many different artists have their CDs and albums there. Realize that there's over 7 billion humans on this planet. And then realize the simple truth. You know about that much about what's really going on. There is so much more to what's going on than meets the eye. But you're a part of that. Don't be so focused on what others are going to do for you or not do for you or anything else. focus instead on who you are here. Focus on being that living example of treating people with love and respect and honor and dignity. Focus on that fact that you are a spiritual, quantum, multidimensional being having a human experience to assist all other humans who are here. You might do it by walking into a shopping mall and seeing somebody and just smiling at them. You might do it by seeing somebody like today. Went to the mall in Johnsonville. My wife wanted to do a synergy class at the gym. Janice did. At the moment, I'm not doing any gym work because, unfortunately, I've screwed up my rotator cuff and my right arm at the moment. So Janice had made the suggestion that I go in and have a shoulder and neck massage. And so I did, and it was great. It was beautiful. And when I came out, there was a lady who was doing janitorial type work, you know, where she goes around like where people have meals and lunches from the food court, and she picks up their rubbish and everything and throws it away. And I walked up to her and said, "How you doing today? Happy New Year." And she paused for a moment because I don't think she was expecting that. And she goes, "Oh, thanks, love. Happy New Year to you." For a moment, I didn't treat her poorly because of her job. I treated her the way I treat everybody. Do that. Focus on your heart. Focus on what's happening inside. This is next part to this little video. A lot of people are talking about, oh, wow, you know, I've got these abilities that are coming in. This is happening. This is happening. What have I been telling you for the last year? It's a year of choice. Now is a year of action. You've been making choices. Things are going to start happening now. If they're not happening in the moment, don't worry about it because they will happen at the right moment. It's directed by Spirit. Things are changing for a lot of people. Things are changing for me. You're going to notice more abilities coming in. You're going to notice more things that you're able to do and connect with. Be patient with it. Don't rush. Something new comes your way, a new ability. Work with it. Take your time with it. Work with it. See what works best for it. If you do it that way, you will actually find that it'll actually work better for you. And you'll be able to apply it in more areas of your life because by taking your time with it, you can go, okay, how can I apply this in my life? How can I make this work for me? How can I make this work to where I receive the benefit of it and I can share that benefit with others, even if they don't know that you have these abilities now? Just because last year was a year of choice doesn't mean that the choices are done. You can still choose now. This is an exciting time. Someone spoke about manifesting, telepathy. You're going to start feeling more energy, more healing. Don't rush. And whatever you do, because I've seen this happen so many times, do not think just because you have gained an ability that it is the end all to beat all. Each one of us brings different gifts and abilities to this world. Each one of us brings fantastic things to this world. but it's not everything. If it was everything, nobody else would need be here. It's time to step forward. Some of you are going to find clearing happening. And you're not the only ones. My shoulder is not doing too well. Started going to the gym. The outside of my right arm here was hurting some when I was doing weight training and stuff. Janice and I went to Israel and everything. We're gone for a little over a month. I thought, okay, well, if it is strained or whatever, it'll, surely a month of not doing anything strenuous will help it. Came back, went to the gym a few times, and before I know it, I have severe pain going down the bicep, the rotator cuff. They've been talking about the fact that it seems like there's a problem with the tendons in the rotator cuff. So I'm not able to do weight training at the moment. Makes it interesting. Then on top of that, I have discovered that over the course of this last year, I've had some episodes, generally at night, where I would wake up and have a tremendous amount of pain in my chest area and everything, to the point where it actually felt like I was having a heart attack. I wasn't. My heart's fine. And then finally, a week before Janice and I went to Israel, I had gone to work, and it started about 8 o'clock in the morning, which was very unusual because normally it hits between 12 and 1 in the morning, in the middle of the night. And it would take about 12 hours for it to calm down, and it was just horrendously bad. Didn't happen a lot, but it. So at 9:30, I went and saw Janice for morning tea and said, this is not good, and she's like, go to ED. I said, yeah, all right. So I went to ED, and they made me happy. Gave me 14 milligrams of morphine. Unfortunately, it was about 20 minutes after that 14th milligram of morphine that the pain finally went away. I was in ED for about 5.5 hours. And the doctor said, although he couldn't see anything, he suspected I had gallstones. So the next week, a day before we left, I went and had an ultrasound. And I have gallstones. So I called and my GP and said, can you put a referral in to the hospital for my American friends over there? It didn't cost me anything to go to ED. Went and saw the doctor first part of December. That didn't cost anything. And on the 20th of January, I'm having surgery, keyhole surgery to remove my gallbladder. And that's not costing anything either. Having universal health care is important. I'm clearing things out. Some of you are going to be clearing things out. If it hasn't already started, it will soon. This is the time for change. Change can come in different forms. Perhaps it's clearing things out. I'm clearing things out. I'm starting new things. Other people are starting new things or getting new things in. Dear Blessed One lost her brother just recently, and I know that it's been horrendously bad for her. If you listen to this, Blessed One, all of my love and support to you. I am truly sorry for your loss. Our friend Caroline has been going through some issues with her ankle and things like this. Other friends have been going through some very intense times. Loss. Change. This is happening. It's time to clear out the old and let in the new. And it's not always easy. And it's many times it's a big challenge. So I'm going to let you know a little bit about what's going new for us. I know I put a little thing out on it recently. I am starting a spiritual school called Blue Star Temple. And this is going to be phenomenal. It's going to cover a lot of different topics. And one of the things that I'm really excited about and in looking forward to is teaching a healing method that I developed 21 years ago. 21 years ago, called the Blue Star Healing. Blue Star Healing, and people will be able to do level 1, 2, and mastership and get a certificate in the whole 9 yards. It came about after I had learned Reiki. So it's very powerful. It's a great healing modality. As I said, I've been going back and forth on prices and stuff like that for the readings. The Skype sessions, which are 60 to 90 minutes long, which are personal, spiritual, and guidance sessions, are going to be $50. Those last 60 to 90 minutes, and you drive them. It's about what you want to know. And through the session, I pick up on things and information, and I pass it on as well. And it's about helping you understand whatever it is you need to understand for yourself and for your journey. The personal Akashic Scrolls, of course, they've really expanded since I first developed them. The early part of this last year. They're about 4.5 to 5 pages long. Life path and personal year in numerology. 3 guides, including personal messages from those guides. I tell you about 3 past lives and a reading as well. Along with this, I do the Blue Star Healing and etheric implant and device removal. But that is something that I do in person. I don't do that long distance. The Blue Star Healing I can do long distance, but the implant removal I do in person. We're also going to be offering at-home sessions. So if you want me to come and do a presentation, teach something along the lines of meeting your guides or opening a channel, how to channel, things like that, then that can be arranged. There will need to be certain numbers of individuals, and I will travel and go there and do that. In the next couple of months, I'm going to be doing all of these classes on video. I am going to wait until I get a proper webcam, so I'm not quite so close to the screen and it can be done a little bit better and whatnot. And then these are classes that you can actually order individually, and the videos are sent out along with an agreement that is not given to other people. And lastly, with Janice, we are starting a new year. And Janice is an amazing tarot reader. She's doing a seven card spread, 12-month reading for $35. And it's all laid out in Word with pictures of the cards. She used the Rider-Waite deck, which is amazing. And she's been doing the readings for well over 15 years with the Rider-Waite deck. And so, if you're looking for some guidance to start the new year off, feel free to give her a contact. You can reach her on Janice Nathan at gmail.com, and it's I will include her email address in the post with the video. And then, of course, if you're interested in the spiritual development course, I will be offering it here in Newtown, here in Wellington. And the pricing for that is going to be $150 or $25 a class. And if you pay for all 6 classes in advance, it'll be $120, which breaks down to $20 per class. And at the end of that 6-week course, you will get a certificate from the Blue Star Temple and everything like that you've completed, and what things that you completed on there. This is a very exciting year. It's going to be filled with adventure, extraordinary things. It'll also be surprising things. There's going to be challenges, all of those things. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're not alone. You've never been alone. Now is the time for you to focus on reclaiming who you are, discovering more about who you are. We have some time to finish the cycle that we're currently in. Probably another 15 years. And there's going to be a lot of things going on. The best thing you can do is remain firmly rooted in your heart and live from your heart. And just know that you're not alone. Do something good for yourself. If you have questions, ask. Lastly, I will do a separate video on the Blue Star Temple and classes and things like that. I will be putting together a council who will be, in essence, the overseers of the school, which is very exciting. I've contacted a couple of people already, and I've got another one to contact today regarding that. It's very exciting times, and there's a lot more to do. We're not done. We're just getting started. Don't focus on things that are unimportant. Focus on being present today. Focus on being who you are today. If there are things to do with your past, reflect on those. Set aside a certain amount of time, sit down and reflect. What can you gain from that? When that time is finished, is done, you're done. Put it away. Hold on to what you've learned and what you've gained from it, but don't live in the past. And whatever you do, don't live in the future. Because if you're living in the future or you're living in the past, what Spirit's giving you right now, you'll miss. And it could be the most significant thing that's ever come your way. So be present in the now moment. All my love to each of you. I send you my blessings, my love and support. We will walk this journey together, one way or another. At the end of the day, it's a new year. We have 365 opportunities coming our way. Let's not miss any of them. Peace and love.